After 100%ing Black Mesa in the last video, it felt only right to move on to Gordon Freeman's next adventure, Half-Life 2. This game has an achievement hunt just as bizarre and tedious as Black Mesa, including squashing over 300 grubs, playing through all of episode 1 using only one bullet, and of course, carrying a prop to the end of the game. In this video, I'll be covering all 69 achievements in the base game and episodes 1 and 2, so sit back, get comfy, and welcome to Half-Life 2 100%. Waking up to our G-Man sounding alarm clock, or a wave of PTSD, or both. We hop off the train into City 17. While walking through this section, I'll give you a brief and probably half-accurate rundown of the events since Black Mesa. So when Gordon pushed the big shiny rock into the laser at Black Mesa, not only did he kill almost everyone in the facility and tear a huge rift in the fabric of reality that day, he also unknowingly sent out a signal to the rest of the universe, basically saying, "Hey guys, we're here." Following this is what humanity refers to as the 7-Hour War, in which the Combine, the main enemies in this game, invaded Earth and completely overrun us as a species in a matter of, well, 7 hours. After this, the old administrator of Black Mesa, Breen, cut a deal with the Combine to let them enslave humanity so that he can get a cool office. G-Man has kept us in stasis since the events of Black Mesa, and has decided to wake us up now to be his pawn, and to save the day once again. At our first checkpoint where we get some pictures taken, naturally we start mooning the camera, and a Combine soldier comes out to lead us into a private room, presumably for a closer look. After being left alone with a strange man inside, he takes his mask off to reveal that he isn't Combine, but in fact our old pal Barney from Black Mesa. I don't think it's that rude to say that I didn't recognize him at first. He explains that he's been working undercover as a mole inside the Combine's forces. How he got inside in the first place, I have no idea, but he presses all the right buttons to allow us to slip through undetected, and for that, we thank him. Here is where I also need to explain that I may have added just a few small mods to liven up the playthrough. Only retextures, so nothing gameplay changing, don't worry. So anyway, Barney calls up Walter White using Combine technology, even though I'm sure that an alien species that can teleport across the universe can also see who's making calls on their systems, but let's gloss over that for now. He tells him that we're on our way to his lab and that we'll be there shortly. Some banging on the door abruptly ends our catch-up, and Barney lets us slip out the back to escape before being discovered. We hop up on top of a box to climb out the window, and after heading up some stairs, we're met with our first 2 achievements of the run. Like the absolute jammy bastard that he is, the Combine soldier knocks a can onto the floor and orders us to pick it up. We throw down a save in order to get both the achievements in one go. The first being to pick the can up and launch it full speed at his head to show him that we're not taking any of his shit. This earns us the Defiant achievement, and following this, I managed to do what I saw in a desync video one time and lock him in the previous room to really drive the point home. Afterwards, we reload our save, and going against everything we just said, we pick the can up like a good little boy, put it in the bin for him, getting us the Submissive achievement. With this, he allows us to pass, and we move on to the next area. Stepping out into the main square, we're met with a very real representation of how the UK is going to be in a couple years, minus the big 3-legged aliens of course. Once we've made it through into the play park, we continue into the apartments. Here, we find ourselves in the middle of a Combine shakedown. We nip into the apartment for some cover, take the time to shut Breen up, as even his TV presence is too much of a vibe killer. Seeing that the coast is clear, we head down the corridor and up the stairs to the first floor. The guy beckons us inside and gives us a path to escape the Combine beating that's surely coming. After a narrow escape from more Combine, this fella graciously holds the door closed for us to make our escape up to the roof. We channel our inner parkoured Freeman and head across the rooftops into a nearby building. Our escape is futile, however, as we're quickly cornered by 2 groups of Combine who give us a swift whack to the face, and a story achievement, Malcontent. Waking up from a much more pleasant dream than the reality I'm currently living in, we're put face to face with not more Combine, but instead Alex Vance, who fights alongside us for some of the main game, and both episodes 1 and 2. She's also the daughter of another guy called Eli, who Gordon also worked with in Black Mesa. She's like Lydia from Skyrim, except actually more useful than a walking storage bin. Valve should definitely make a whole Half-Life game about her story or something. I think there could be some real money in that. After following her for a while, she opens up a secret door leading to Heisenberg's lab. Next to this door, we also have the first of 45 Lambda symbols. The other 44 throughout the main game are marking supply caches that I need to find for the Lambda Locator achievement. I'll probably show most of these throughout the video, but know that if I didn't include it in the video, I did still find it for the achievement. Entering the lab, we meet Walter, who explains that he has a teleporter that he's been working on, and we get to use it to teleport us out of here. Meeting back up with Barney from earlier, he leads us to our favourite piece of tech in the game, the HEV suit. Now we can't have Walter without Jesse, so after Barney gets a nice jump scare from the only friendly headcrab in the game, we put on our suit and are ready to move. It even comes with its own theme music. Now that we have most of the intro out of the way, we can pick up the other achievement called What Cat for using the mini teleporter over and over until it breaks. It wasn't me, I swear. After this, we head into the room with the teleporter to send Alex through first, we get it up and running, and she's sent through to the other side where Eli is waiting. Now it's our turn. Stepping into the teleporter, we wait patiently while it does its thing. Of course, nothing can go according to plan in Gordon's life, and Jesse the headcrab throws himself into the action, causing an absolute meltdown. In similar fashion to the Resonance Cascade at Black Mesa, we're sent into a bunch of different locations, including Breen's office of all places. Talk about bad luck. After a bit more quantum hopping, we're teleported all the way to just outside the building we were previously in. Guess we'll have to make it there on foot. Here is also the first encounter with the most annoying enemy in the game, which are these irritating little flying things that do nothing else but flashbang you. Why? I have sensitive eyes! We say one last farewell to Barney, who sees us off, and in the heat of the moment, he forgets to give me my signature crowbar. I guess I'm stuck to bitch slapping things for the duration of this playthrough. This also gets me another achievement, Trusty Hardware, for not getting my crowbar. Moving forward, I'm finally able to get my revenge on the flashbang drones. Not after getting my retinas turned to dust first, of course. Now that I'm able to fight back, I slap the shit out of my first couple combine and steal a gun. Making our way over to the next set of railway tracks, I hop on top of a moving train to get to the other side, and once clearing the remaining enemies following close behind, I grab another lambda cache for the achievement and keep going. I find another unmissable cache inside a vent, and continue to blast my way through the opposing combine, all whilst jamming to Half-Life's amazing soundtrack. I find this guy and his Vortigaunt pal chilling in a train car. I think the Vorts appreciated me getting the PhD in pacifism achievement in Black Mesa, as the humans and the Vorts have now since formed an alliance. Soon after mowing down a couple dozen combine with their own gun, we can grab our next achievement, Barnacle Bowling, for killing 5 barnacles with an explosive barrel. So after letting it slide down this convenient ramp into their dangly bits, we get our achievement. After this, we swim on through, dodging explosive barrels being hurled down onto us from above. Just past this is also a physics puzzle which teaches us that Gordon and his suit together weigh less than 4 cinder blocks. I didn't realise he was snatched like that. Once past this section, we get to our first real intense moment where we need to escape this helicopter that desperately wants to turn us into a Freeman flavoured paste. Running into our first bit of cover, a barnacle helps us out by handing us a health back. What a legend. I just hope he didn't hear what I did to his friends back in the bowling alley. Dipping into this building on the left, we almost have a crash out at a barrel, and once inside, we can grab another cache that's hiding under the walkway. After crawling through sewage in typical Half-Life fashion, we have another round of bowling, and once making a final break for it past the helicopter, we come across this random guy who I guess is just living here. Beats having your flat raided by Combine every other day, I suppose. Unfortunately, I was too busy slapping at things like a cat to notice these little drone buzzsaw things called manhacks bursting through the door behind me. After me and my new buddy make quick work of them, he tells me to leave as I was clearly interrupting something private between him and the sewage, so doing as instructed, I get going. Just a bit further down we encounter more manhacks, which after admittedly pulling a smart move and sending an explosive right towards me, they end up blowing themselves up. Nice. Finally some daylight, and the birds are chirping. Oh wait, no, that's more manhacks. After putting my 14 minutes of aim labs practice to good use, we can move forward into the dingy tunnels, venting until we get to some more gunfights against the Combine. Once dealing with them, I realise in probably the funniest way possible that I forgot to turn off one of the mods from earlier, so we gun down this bitch, and after fixing my mods, we can continue on. Yes, science! A bit more platforming, swimming and Combine fighting later, we shoot out some planks holding back some of the most airtight wooden crates I've ever seen, so they can float up and make some stepping stones for us to jump across to the next area. These must have been the crates they shipped the Madagascar characters in. So after jumping across, fighting through more Combine and manhacks as well as picking up another cache, we find another NPC holding off some of the most distinguished and gentlemanly headcrabs you've ever seen. He tells us to keep moving as there's an airboat waiting for me, so we press on. Just up ahead, some more of the posh bastards crash land in front of us, killing our comrades in the process. We shoot our way through, making sure to get our revenge, and once all the little gentrified twats are dead, we can meet up with the other NPC to collect our airboat, as well as the story achievement, Anchors Away. She raises the gate, and we can finally leave that claustrophobic nightmare behind us. For now, at least. Feeling the wind in our hair and the bugs in our teeth, we make it to a gate which we have to raise in order to move on to the next chapter, also named after what League of Legends players refer to as the shower, Water Hazard. Our first stop is yet another cache for the achievement, so once we grab this, we hop back on our boat, smash through these planks using nothing but my forehead, and grab another one a little further up. This one is a little more involved as we have to make our way up to the top of this building, where we can lower the cache down into the water below. A little further up the river, we have another physics puzzle. This being to find some items to help float this ramp up so that we can get to the next area. So after avoiding eye contact with the flying flashbangs, we make our way through the tunnel up to the final 2 barrels we need. Once we put the couple barrels where they need to go, the ramp floats up and we can jump across to keep moving. Smashing through more planks with our face, we're met with our first Combine dropship. Pretty neat, I can't lie. I'd like to say I barely skimmed past all the Combine on purpose to show off my amazing boating skills, but in reality, I just suck at driving. Even more annoyingly, I actually needed to take these guys out as they're guarding yet another secret cache, so after gunning them down the old-fashioned way, we collect the goodies and get back to boating. Absolutely snatching the ankles off of the soldier up here, we find ourselves at our next roadblock. Here we need to make our way up to the main control room to open the gate. So after parking up and making our way up to the first ladder, we make our way through a suspiciously quiet Combine base. We do have a couple enemies a bit further in, this guy in the mounted gun being the most troublesome, but he's easily taken care of with a couple well-placed grenades. And once dealing with the sneaky 2 hoping to catch me off guard inside, we realise that there are no controls to raise the gate, so we're going to have to get creative. Having a quick look around, we spot a conveniently placed makeshift battering ram, so after shooting the barrels below, it swings free and smashes through the gate, allowing us to pass. The Combine aren't particularly happy with this, however, so we now have to fight our way back through the station to get back to the boat. Once back at the boat, it's plain sailing from here, running over the occasional Combine soldier along the way until we reach another cache location, which we have to dodge a few rockets to get to as it's hidden just underneath this truck up on the bridge. The guys up in the truck aren't having this, so they drop down to try and finish me off, so we feed them a few bullets and move on. We jump over some fire, dodge a car that's launched towards us like some kind of wily coyote trap, and dip into a tunnel for some much needed cover from the chaos outside. Through here we let down another supply cache and head on to our next roadblock. Parking up at the dock, we have to work our way through here to open up another gate, this time at least with the help of a shiny new revolver. So more of the same, shooting Combine, manhacks, more Combine, and a helicopter. We push the big shiny button to open up the gate, hop back into our boat and get out of there. We politely tell the pursuing helicopter to wait while we make a quick pit stop to grab another cache. Then back to the boat for more running from the helicopter, hitting sick kickflips, and grabbing caches until we get to an area where we need to weigh something down to raise a ramp. Once we do this, we finally get to the end of this first section, where we meet up with some resistance members who are waiting for us. We aren't here for long, however, as they tell me that they're getting the Vortigon outside to fix a machine gun to my airboat. So after giving the Vort a little love tap to show my appreciation, we hop back in the boat and get moving, earning us the achievement Heavy Weapons. We can finally show that helicopter who's boss, so after giving him a face full of bullets, he finally leaves us alone. The Combine pull a sneaky ambush on me a little further up, but they're no trouble now that we don't have to run. So once we take them out, we can hop up the sides past the blocked gate. The following is a very satisfying bit of breaking Combine ankles, explosions, more explosions, sick jumps, cool dropship fights, collecting caches, mowing down headcrab zombies, skeet shooting barrels, giving Combine high velocity haircuts, more caches and more sick jumps until we reach the final fight against the helicopter. So after dodging his bombs, we take him down and get the revenge achievement. Straight after this is one more achievement, and then we can finally leave the airboat behind for good. Once we open up the gate, we head towards these pipes. The left one is cracked open slightly, so we look around for a bit to find a barrel to get our vertically challenged arse up inside, and we make a run for it through the toxic sludge. At the end, we find the famous Vortigaunt that smokes 40 a day, and the achievement Vorticoff. Not wanting to burn any more hair off of my legs, I reload my save back at the boat, and just to save you from any more airboat gameplay, we're here! Arriving at the dock, we pick up another cache, then head inside to meet up with Eli and Alex. Oh yeah, and Judith's here too, I guess. She takes us to the elevator where we head down to finally meet Eli face to face once again. He has a lot more polygons since he and Gordon last met, and he has some compliments for us in return.
God, you haven't changed one iota. How do you do it?
Oh, stop it, you. After some more friendly conversation, we head out to the scrapyard to get possibly the most iconic weapon in all of gaming, the gravity gun. But
you can call it the 0-point energy field manipulator if you really want to.
There's going to be quite a few achievements tied to this gun, the first being the achievement for receiving it. The second one is right after, where we need to stack a bunch of boxes and pallets to reach the old HEV suit charger plate for the Blast from the Past achievement. Heading a little further into the scrapyard, we meet the absolute G himself, Dog. After a quick game of fetch, I start trying to get the next achievement for scoring a basket using the gravity gun. The fun gets cut short, however, since the Combine scanners quickly flood the sky and force us to take cover. With the base under attack, we get separated from the pack by some falling rubble. Dog helps us get to the Ravenholm tunnel, which leads to an old abandoned town with the same name, funnily enough. This here is the spookiest part of Half-Life 2. In this section, we'll be faced with headcrabs, headcrab zombies, a new couple types of headcrab zombie, and the scariest of all, a mentally unstable Eastern European man. Even scarier still is the achievement that we need to get while we're here, as it was definitely one of the more challenging of the bunch. For the Zombie Chopper achievement, we need to play through the entirety of the Ravenholm chapter without using any of our guns, only the gravity gun and the the bitch slap. There are a couple traps dotted around which we can use, but for the most part it's a mixture of launching blunt and sharp objects at enemies, slapping them into next week, and running for our life. The opening section of this area introduces us to one of my favourite parts of Half-Life 2, launching saw blades to chop zombies in half. Throughout this section, I'm going to be holding on to any decently sharp item like it's my childhood blankie, as I really don't want to get caught with my pants down with nothing to hurl at the scary guys. So once we get used to our new attack strategy, and the room I have a feeling is going to get this video age restricted, we head outside to meet Father Grigori for the first time. He tells us he's going to keep an eye on us, which is reassuring, I suppose. So in the meantime, I divide up a couple remaining zombies, set this caged one on fire. The mix of the screams and the fact that he was rather helpless is actually making me feel quite bad. Valve had no business making the zombie screams that haunting. Just after turning off the gas to make our way into the next area, I hear the scream that I can personally only associate with the start of a new round of Gmod murder. After realizing I need to turn off the electricity block in the way, I backtrack a bit and quickly find another area that once cleared out leads me in the right direction. We encounter the first of my least favorite enemies in the Half-Life series, these extra lanky headcrabs that are just a little bit too spider-like for my taste. Once turning them into a creepy headcrab pate, we flip the power switch to disable the electric, and we can now get out of this area and up onto the rooftops, where Grigori appears once again to be my adopted Bulgarian uncle. He allows me the use of his traps, which is very generous of him considering I've already used about 5 of them so far, and he pops a sneaky headcrab just to show how much of an absolute legend he is. He may be unhinged, but he's my kind of unhinged. After using one of Grigori's incredibly overkill traps, and not very well at that, I spot another lambda cache for the related achievement. This one requires a little bit of parkour to get to, so once we hit the switch to lift this car up, we quickly hop on top of it, and then jump across to clear the barrier and collect our cache. Hopping back up onto the same car also gets us over to the next area, so we jump across, and Grigori drops by just to have a little giggle. He helps us take down a few more zombies. During this, one even tried to bounce an explosive barrel off of my head. Not having that. Once clearing these fellas out, we collect another cache, and get our first glimpse of the fast zombies, creatively named Fast Zombies. No, that's actually what they're called on the wiki. The glimpse quickly becomes a full-on face-to-face encounter, where this achievement starts to get really tough as they take multiple blows to take down, and every shot sends my saw blade flying off in some random direction. Once taken down the speedy boy and finding my pet saw blade, I head back up onto the roof where Grigori opens up about his feelings towards me.
Man after my own heart.
I'm sorry, Griggs, this is all moving way too fast. Not too happy with my answer. He chucks me a shotgun knowing damn well that I can't use it while I'm here. What a tease. Quickly following this, we're attacked by 2 more fast zombies, so I lead them into this room where my one and only weapon doesn't send its only shot flying down into the street below. I like to say I thought ahead, but this was purely trial and error. Now that they're taken care of, we can head back out and jump across to the next rooftop, just after avoiding eye contact with this poor soul.
I think there's someone hanging right there.
Once up at this rooftop, I frantically run inside as I can hear what only sounds like more fast ones coming up the ladders. I'll just close the door, and... safety. After clearing out the zombies and the mysterious stains left in my pants after that interaction, I realize that I need to hold these fuckers off until the elevator arrives. Desperately scrambling for my one and only lifeline during this fight, I keep hurling the saw blade at anything that moves until my ride finally arrives. You took your sweet time. While we ride down, I just want to say that I don't play many horror games, so this section with the added challenge of no guns has genuinely raised my heart rate more than walking up 1 flight of stairs. Anyway, once reaching the bottom and grabbing my saw blade that phased through the floor when I started the elevator, look, this game's 21 years old, alright? Cut it some slack. We're put face to face with another one of these bastards that love to throw headcrabs at me. Lovely. I'm going to skip over this section pretty quickly as it's basically just a huge area with endlessly spawning zombies with barely anything to launch at them, so it's just a lot of fighting, flipping switches, jumping across rooftops, panicking, more fighting, changing my pants again, climbing and running for my life until we reach the other side. As you can see, by this point I fully mastered the art of prop launching. Kinda. And now we're up this ladder for our last rooftop standoff between me and what feels like 800 of the fast nightmare zombies. Luckily, there's this fence at the back of the roof that as long as I can line the zombies up with it, I can shoot them without losing my saw blade. So we stand in this corner until the boys arrive, then dip past them to take them down in a way where I can retrieve the saw blade for more attacks. Once the little basket thingy arrives, we hop in and pull the lever to get away from that nightmare, and we can finally meet Grigori up close and personal. He correctly reads my mind.
I suspect you have little wish to remain in Ravenholm.
So we prepare for one big final fight in the graveyard against a bunch more zombies. 2 good things here. One is that the achievement doesn't say that big man Grigori here can't use bullets, and 2 is that Grigori won't need to take the bodies very far to bury them. After letting Grigori do most of the work, and supporting him by launching explosive barrels when I can, we reach the end of the graveyard. I say a teary farewell to the absolute legend that he is, and get the Hallowed Ground achievement for getting through the town of Ravenholm. We still have a little further to go before getting the zombie chopper achievement, so we press on. We accidentally go a little too far down under, as this pit is crawling with those nasty spidery headcrabs. I use the gravity gun to pick up and drop explosive barrels down onto a few of them to clear out what I can while high up and in the safety of the rafters. And once I run out of barrels, I put my big boy pants on and drop down. Lots of changing pants in this section, huh? After running through, climbing up on more rafters like I'm Spider-Man, how the tables turn, and dropping down further to swim through a tunnel, we make it to our path out of here. Now this bit is just some good old zombie chopping fun, as we switch this spinning blade on, and it travels up and down the tracks, mowing down anything that stands in its way. This does still include me, however, so after carefully making our way up to the end, dodging the minecart of death as and when needed, we finally make it back to civilization. We get the zombie chopper achievement, and celebrate in the most appropriate way I can think of. Now I may be out of Ravenholm, but I'm still not safe from those pesky zombies. So we head up the tracks, dodging zombies, sniper shots, and gunning down Combine until we reach this car park. After a sizable firefight, we dip inside this warehouse where we meet up with more resistance members. Following this guy inside, we receive some awful news.
I've been on the line with Alex. Her father's been captured.
No, not that. I realized that I missed one of the lambda caches. so I headed back the way I came to collect it. I lob a grenade up into the sniper window because at this point this guy's just pissing me off. And once back at the Ravenholm tunnel exit, I stack up a few boxes, grab the goods, then run back enjoying the fact I'm not being blasted from behind. Wait, pause. I meet back up with this lad and, oh yeah, right, Eli's been captured. We get a Discord call to tell us that we need to head along the coast to Nova Prospekt, an old rundown prison that the Combine have taken over. With the plan all laid out and our next meeting point arranged, we head outside to the car. This section is a nice change of pace after the claustrophobic nightmare that was Ravenholm, so we hop in and are gently set down on the beach below. This is our first time meeting the antlions, a big grasshopper bug-like creature that seem to be heavily inspired by the aliens from Starship Troopers. You know, that film that no one my age or younger has ever seen.
I'm doing my part.
After dealing with the spider ants, we flip the car upright in a very realistic fashion and put our foot down. A little way down the road we find another cache, and a bit further up there's another one in this basement here. The previous owner almost falls on our head, so once dodging him, we grab it with the gravity gun and do a sick J-turn out there. Coming up on the next cache, we run and gun down a couple Combine with our mounted Tau cannon and collect it from inside this hut here. After this, we race across the shore making some antlion jam for some packed lunches down the road. And perfect, someone to share them with. Unfortunately, he's too busy for that right now and tells me to get into his basement. So going against everything I've learned about stranger danger, I follow him inside. Down in the basement, this guy who looks like he was destined to be on an episode of Deadliest Catch hands me a rocket launcher and tells me to get to work defending his man cave against the incoming gunships. Back up on the surface, I launch rocket after rocket at the gunship. Despite using my best to use the laser guide to dodge the bullets, he keeps shooting my rockets out of the sky. So once we find a bit more ammo, I hit him with one final rocket to blast him out of the sky for good. Then give me the achievement Where Cabbage Fears to Tread as a token of their appreciation. And I get to keep the rocket launcher. The road comes to an end, so we head off-road back onto the beach until we reach this dockyard. We park up under the crane since I already know I need to use it to pick up the car, and also to get an achievement for crushing 3 enemies using the crane. So once we take out a few Combine, including getting a nasty headshot on the one up on top of the crane, we take it for ourselves and pick up the car. The shutter door opens and the Combine come rushing out like it's some kind of Black Friday sale. So as punishment for their bad manners, we pick up this container and crush them with it, earning us the OSHA violation achievement. Now that they're out of the way, one last thing to do is to knock down the bridge so that we can cross over. There's a few more Combine that are a little late to the party here, so we shred through them, open up the gate, and make an epic getaway through this window. I don't have a windscreen, so I hope it didn't take Gordon too long to pick all the shards of glass out of his face. Just up the road, we get chased down by another gunship. Now, I could just run away, but Mama didn't raise no bitch, and I need to destroy 6 gunships for another achievement, but let's pretend it's the first reason. This one goes much smoother than the last, and after dodging the shrapnel, we clear the roadblock and hit the road again to get the next achievement. Not before grabbing another cache, of course. Once we reach this spot with this hill up on the right, we can hop out and pick up a crossbow that's waiting for us. With this, we get a new weapon, and we can shoot this Combine soldier in the distance, pinning him to the billboard for the targeted advertising achievement. With him now permanently installed on the sign, we head towards the town to take out the remaining Combine. Once we've done this, we grab a barrel to give us a boost over this fence to collect yet another cache. Now our next achievement isn't for another hour or so I'll skim over the repetitive bits to save your deteriorating attention spans. We grab a cache, shoot more Combine, watch my car get possessed, make a precarious journey across the underside of this bridge, fight Combine on the other side, blow up another gunship, and once shutting down the force field up on top of the bridge, we head back over to the start. From here, we race across the bridge before getting hit by the pain train. Yeah, that didn't go to plan. And once across, it's more driving, running over zombies, dealing with Combine dropships, defending resistance bases, and taking in the scenery until we reach our next spot for an achievement. In this section, we need to cross the sand without touching it at all, so that we don't disturb the antlions, and also to get the achievement, keep off the sand. So after watching this poor fella get mauled by them, that's enough motivation for me. We start off easy with a few hops from rock to rock, and once the gaps get a bit wider, we can pick up some flat items like pallets to use as stepping stones. A little further on, after some more pallet hopping, we need to weigh down this seesaw-like thingy to continue forward. So after finding enough props to do so, we stack them up, and we can move on. The next gap across is pretty big, but this conveniently placed plank is here to bridge the gap. Climbing up onto a barrel on the other side, we can grab another cache before moving forwards. I place a couple props down to climb up onto this hut, grab the cache, and then take them with me to use as stepping stones for the next section. A little more prop hopping later, we're onto the final stretch. So after some final hopping, placing, and hopping, we reach the end and get our well-deserved achievement for not waking a single antlion. I honestly thought this achievement was going to be harder, but being careful and saving regularly makes it very easy. Upon dropping down, we encounter our first antlion guardian, basically the gym bro equivalent of the normal antlions. After getting slapped around and manhandled by him for a bit, we finally take him down. This Vork comes out of his house to thank us for getting rid of the nuisance on his porch, and rewards us with the theropods, better known as bug bait, a grenade-type weapon that I can throw to command antlions at my will. You can also squeeze it. We have an achievement tied to this one, as I need to kill 50 enemies using the antlions and bait to get the achievement Bug Hunt. So from now, I'll be working on using the bug bait as much as possible to try and get it done quickly. We follow the Vort into his little camp, and he teaches us the incredibly complex nature of the weapon. You throw it, and they attack where you throw it. This definitely was a much needed lesson. Now that our very important lesson is over, my pet antlions and I go through the gate onto the next area. After turning off these thumpers that scare away the antlions, we head onto the beach and start causing chaos working towards our achievement. This part is pretty simple, just throw the bug bait in the general direction of the gunfire and let the antlions do most of the work. A lot of them do get completely slaughtered as one would expect, but it's a
Small price to pay for
achievement. Once the beach is clear of Combine and littered with the corpses of multiple alien species, we head round the side of the cliff to keep moving towards Nova Prospekt. There's a couple zombies hiding in this corner. I'm not sure if the antlion got the kill here, or if the zombie just set himself alight as a form of protest. The second one wins the battle, so I have to take matters into my own hands. With the zombies dealt with, we break the support to climb up and start heading up the cliff. Unsurprisingly, the antlions don't fare well in these catwalks, so a few shotgun shells to the balls are needed here to take out the Combine above. At the top, we enter a tunnel, and once out the other side, we find ourselves inside Nova Prospekt. The guards in the watchtowers put up a good fight, turning my pet ants into fleshy fireworks, but they're eventually overrun by the sheer willpower of these little beasts. And with this, they get their 50th kill, and I get my achievement. A gunship joins the party, which is honestly a good thing for me as I get to blast it out the sky for the gunship achievement I'm still working towards. This is the 5th out of 6 gunships I need to destroy. I'm pretty sure I've only shown 4 so far, and I honestly don't know when the 5th one happened, so here you go. After a bit more fighting, the final gunship shows up to give me my achievement. With this all done, we're officially inside the main prison, and just like the prisoners that used to be kept here, we get trapped inside. Now there aren't many achievements for a while, so I'll skim through this section. It's mostly just bullying turrets, collecting caches, getting too close for comfort with an antlion guardian, accidentally killing my favourite pet ant, rest in peace Anthony, you were taken too soon, fighting Combine, breaking facility equipment, grabbing another cache, having another meeting with an antlion guardian, and meeting back up with Alex. She tells us that Eli's being held in the holding area. Who'd have thought? We head up the elevator where she hacks into the system to find him, and by some miracle she finds him after checking only 3 other people. We call down his pod so that we can get face to face with Eli in his new beefy 5-layer burrito form, and we both come up with a plan to find Judith, so she stays behind in the security room while I go on ahead to do all the work in typical main character fashion. Don't worry about it, you'll get your own VR game in about 20 years. We travel on through, putting down headcrabs and Combine as we go. And further down we find ourselves in a bit of a tower defense situation, where we need to place down a couple turrets to hold off against the waves of Combine soldiers. The turrets do most of the work here, we just have to pick them up when they get knocked over. I also start working towards another achievement here, for killing 5 enemies with manhacks that I've picked up with the gravity gun. So after the smoke is cleared, we meet back up to find out that Judith has been working with Breen the whole time. What a cow. We split back up again so that Alex can hack more security stuff for me, until I make it to yet another tower defense section. I'd rather some dart monkeys honestly, but I guess the turrets will do. Just like the last time, it's a bunch of me picking up my turrets as and when they get knocked down. And I get my 5th manhack kill while here to get the hack attack achievement. And once the fighting stops, I also get the story achievement, Warden Freeman. We meet back up once again, blast through more Combine together until we reach another security station where we can track down Judith. Once we find her, she denies everything, so without overreacting in the slightest, we force open the door and head inside to confront her. However, while these two were yapping, this is the point where I realised I'd missed something very important. The achievement for killing an enemy with a toilet. And the only toilets I knew of were right back at the start of Nova Prospekt. Luckily, after a save reload and a small search later, we find our porcelain throne and send it full speed into a headcrab. Get shit on. Anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, we set aside our differences for now, as she can help power up the teleporter to get Eli and us back to Heisenberg's meth lab. So we call Burrito Boy back over and load him into the teleporter to get him out of here into safety. Once it's powered up and ready to go, Judith gives us one last fuck you and hops in with him, teleporting them both to new coordinates and leaving us to die. With those two sent off to God knows where, we have to stay behind and defend the teleporter while it recharges. Luckily, we're given some more turrets which help a ton, and with the teleporter charged up, we hop inside and get the hell out of there. Finally, we're back where we started, and we're greeted by a couple all too familiar faces. Mr. White tells us that Judith and Eli have teleported into the Citadel, the giant main control tower in City 17. Great. While we're reunited with Dog, I'm mentally elsewhere, far too distracted getting floods of memories from seeing this little hula girl sat on the desk. Nostalgia aside, we split back up and Dog and I head to the streets to get to the Citadel. Dog loves to flex his bowling skills, so we let him do his thing, and after taking out a few Combine together, he just can't help but aura farm as he hitches a ride on this dropship off into the sunset. God, he's so cool. Back by myself again, I catch a glimpse of one of G-Man's Jimmy Fallon appearances, and we make it back to the main square from the start of the game where we pick up our first squad of resistance members for the Follow Freeman achievement. They tag along as we make our way through the streets, fighting Combine, clearing mines, and using said mines to launch back at the Combine. Some of my team aren't so lucky, but honestly mate, it was right there. That's just a skill issue. We'd make a quick stop to do what any sane shotgun-wielding person would do when encountering a watermelon, then we pick up some more squad members and take back to the streets for some more ass kicking. After some more fighting, we pick up another cache. I'm aware that I've probably skimmed over a few, so this one here marks our 37th. 8 more to go. We hold off against against what feels like 1,000 manhacks in this underground highway, head further in to pick up yet another cache, and split off from the pack to head through the toxic, irradiated part of the tunnel. Understandable. I guess they don't have HEV suits like I do. Once we make it to the end after jumping across cars, burning our ankles and killing zombies, we open the door up for the rest of the gang, and get the achievement Radiation Levels Detected. After some more fighting and pushing the Combine back into their holes, we meet back up with Alex, who says it's time to find Barney. He better have that beer waiting for me. We head out into the plaza to defend it from the Combine for the aptly named achievement Plaza Defender, and a while later, the generator that we've been defending opens up and I blast it with a gravity gun to shut it down, giving us access to the streets ahead. On the other side, we find out that the bridge to cross has been inconveniently deleted by the Combine, and neither of us are well trained in the art of the accelerated back hop, so it looks like it's back underground to get to the other side. I'll skip over most of this as it's just more fighting soldiers and zombies in the sewers, with nothing too interesting to note, apart from giving this Combine soldier a cheeky teabag. I don't understand why that's relevant, but I wrote it in my notes, so it must have been important. We ride the platform up to the top of this warehouse, grab another sneaky cache hiding behind this corner, and a little while later find ourselves back on the street, this time with the new threat of snipers. We need to kill all 5 of these snipers to get an achievement, so I'll be making sure to throw grenades into their windows and taking them out in any other way I can. They do hefty amounts of damage too, so it's honestly just a good one to go for anyway, and the blue laser sights make them very easy to spot. Let's count them up, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We head back down to street level, meeting up with some more of the Resistance members along the way, and fight our way through until we reach this old government building, now being used as a base for the Combine's Overwatch. This place is absolutely crawling with the Combine's toughest soldiers, and will be our last step before entering the main Citadel tower to cap off the base game. After fighting through the main building, we head in to turn off the 3 generators inside. This place is full of annoying laser traps and turrets, but a quick little grenade into them shuts them right down. With the first generator down, we move on to the second. We Mission Impossible our way through this room that's somehow filled with even more lasers than the others, and once at the other side, we can disable the second generator in an incredibly safe manner. Onto the third and final generator. The Combine is starting to get very upset with us and are sending everything they have, but they're no match for Gordon and the gang. We make it to the final generator and take it down. Following this, we head upstairs so Barney can call for reinforcements, earning us the Fight the Power achievement. Up on the roof, Combine dropships fly overhead carrying the scariest of all Half-Life enemies, Striders. They aren't too bad in the base game to be fair, but I hate these things with every fibre of my being because of one achievement in episode 2, but you'll get to see that suffering later on. We take down another gunship and some more Combine soldiers, and cross over the bridge to head back down to street level. After wasting all of my ammo taking one Strider down, I give up on the second one and just make a run for it. This little underground bit provides some cover, and after getting an ammo restock I'm able to kill a couple more Striders and continue on. Finally reaching the stairs to take us to the next area, I find a much needed health restock, and we come out at the other underground tunnel. A Strider bursts through and chases us to the other end, and I'm rewarded with another flashbang from those fuck-ass little flying bots. Slapping the shit out of everything around me in anger and partial blindness, I head up to the roof to at last collect the 45th and final Lambda cache, earning us the Lambda Locator achievement, and once again, some freshly burnt retinas. We only have a few more achievements to get for the base game, so skipping ahead slightly to the rooftop Strider battle, we fire a few rockets into his dome to get the Giant Killer achievement. We've already killed about 4 of these things prior to this, but okay. Dog once again can't help but flex, and lifts up one of the walls for us to gain access to the Citadel. We precariously jump across inside, and hop into one of the burrito costumes to get a fast track to Dr. Breen's office. It would help if I chose the right one. Once inside and on the right track, we travel through a very scenic and spooky rail system, blending in with all the other corpses swinging through the tower. We reach the end of the line, and they confiscate all of my weapons. What killjoys. However, this is definitely an upgrade, as the gravity gun stays behind, accidentally being supercharged in the process. Now can we not only pick up items, but entire people. This is going to be fun. We have a couple more achievements to go. For Atomizer, we need to pick up 15 Combine soldiers and launch them into the plasma fields to disintegrate them. Seems humane to me. Breen gives us a warm welcome, and we tell him that we'll see him soon. This part is pure fun, as I get to pick up Combine and launch them into their fellow brothers like it's a cursed game of 10-pin bowling. We come across our first plasma fields, so I start feeding Combine into them like there's no tomorrow, and before I know it, I get the Atomizer achievement. I head up the elevator so I can learn what it's like to be a cheesy bean burrito one last time. After another relaxing journey through the machine, Breen kindly reroutes me up to the top floor, where this asshole takes my sick new gravity gun away from me. He's probably just jealous and wants to try it himself. Honestly, I don't blame him. Now we're back face to face with Judith. Fortunately for her, I can't unload a mag into her head this time around. We're taken into Breen's office where Eli and I are reunited. At least this time we can be burrito buddies together. Breen makes a fair point that it was rather stupid of me to get into this contraption, let alone twice. After some rambling and monologuing, Alex gets jealous and joins in on the fun, and Judith finally redeems herself by stopping Breen's plan to send us through a Combine portal. Breen's understandably a little bit upset by this, and blasts the fuck out of us with the gravity gun, putting an end to the burrito party once and for all. Alex and I leave Judith and Eli to do whatever it is they do, and we chase after Breen. We catch him FaceTiming his pet woodlouse one last time, and we head into the core to shut it down for good. Luckily, we have our gravity gun back, so we power through the last of the Combine until we reach the very top. At the top, we send as many energy balls into the Citadel core as we can, until it's finally destroyed. Our hard work has paid off, and now we just have to get out of here in time.
Time, Dr. Freeman? Is it really that time again?
And with that, we get our final achievement for Half-Life 2's base game, Singularity Collapse. Moving swiftly on to episode 1, we have one important achievement to talk about, the one free bullet. To get this, we need to play through the entirety of episode 1 having only fired one single bullet, which is just to break this padlock, all while getting the other 12 achievements along the way. Luckily, I can still use my rockets and grenades, although I'll mostly be using the gravity gun, so it'll feel like one big Ravenholm. And we all know how well that went for me. With that out of the way, the Vortigaunts pause time and save Alex because they can just do that apparently. G-Man doesn't like this as he feels like that's a little bit too OP, and the next thing we know, we're under the wreckage of the burning Citadel, being dug up like a fresh potato. We conveniently get our gravity gun back, and after about 2 seconds of decision making, we both hop into a van and crash headfirst into the Citadel. This is a subtle bit of lore showing us that Alex can't drive because she's way off from getting her driving license. We're heading back into the tower because we may have been a teeny bit too reckless with our core disabling earlier, and we need to try and stop it or at least slow down the imminent, slightly massive explosion that's going to happen. So after another 1-star Uber experience, we make it back into the tower and see that dancing alien meme from years ago has had to take up a day job here. Poor guy. Our gravity gun gets supercharged once again, and we get to start ragdolling people around while heading to the main elevator for our first achievement. Here we have to dodge waves of falling debris and enemies until we reach the bottom. It's not too bad with the upgraded gravity gun at all, as it's as easy as just launching balls at these fellas and the debris away from us. Once reaching the bottom, we get our first achievement of the episode, watch your head, for reaching the bottom. After this, we get our first look at the reactor core. I don't know anything about fictional energy reactors, but I'd say that's definitely looking not good. In an amazing coincidence, Gordon happens to be a reactor whisperer, so we head inside to try and calm it down. While in here, there's a few achievements we'll pick up. The first one is to not kill any stalkers, as they're just chill dudes who enjoy shutting down bridges that we make. And the second and third are to kill an elite soldier with his own energy ball, and to kill 5 soldiers with 1 energy ball. This section is simple enough. We just have to make bridges using the energy balls, and cross over them quickly before the stalkers do their thing. Up at the top, I let a bunch of enemies build up in this hallway, and blast them all with 1 energy ball to get the Conservationist achievement. A few minutes later, I launched this guy's balls back into his face to get Think Fast. Then once at the end, we contain the core, getting our last couple achievements for this area, Containment, and Pacifist for not killing the stalkers. With the core contained, the place is stabilized and safe from exploding. For a couple hours at least anyway. But that's just enough time to get the rest of our achievements, so I can live with that. Shame the stalkers in here won't. Speaking of stalkers, we later find ourselves in a train car full of them on our way out of the Citadel. It crashes into a wall as most self-driving things do, and with that, we're finally back on the street, ready to grab the rest of our achievements and escape the city before everything explodes. Here is where we use the gravity gun to grab this pistol, and we shoot the one and only bullet we're allowed to during this playthrough, which is to break this padlock. We're back to fighting headcrab zombies, so I launch heavy things at them with the gravity gun, and also work on lighting 15 of them on fire using flares to get the zombie queue achievement. With a few cooked far past well done, we get to
Combine zombie. That's like a zombine, right? Zombine, get it?
And once that's over, it's off to the local antlion hole to crush 15 of them with a car to get the aptly named achievement, Car Crusher. Shortly after this, we encounter basically hell itself as we're in the pitch black, being swarmed by endless zombies while we wait for the nearby elevator to power up. The only good part here is that I can light my 15th headcrab zombie on fire for the zombie queue achievement. For the rest of my time spent here, I just felt like I was playing a 20-year-old version of Dying Light. As a cheeky bonus, as we head up, we get the achievement Elevator Action for making it through that nightmare. Once reaching the surface,
Come on, Gordon, crank that thing.
we're greeted by the claustrophobia curing sky, and weirdly, Dr. Kleiner telling everyone they need to start banging immediately.
Now would be an excellent time for procreation.
Just imagine that he's Walter White here, okay? The mod didn't work for this bit. After this, I pick up an SMG that looks like it's definitely heard the announcement from Kleiner, and after dodging a few sniper rounds, we start the live bait achievement, where we need to let Alex snipe 30 enemies for us while we make our way through these next few areas. It's not too important to let her snipe every single enemy, as there's a beloved antlion hole at the end, where we can let them continuously spawn and die. Ah, the circle of life is beautiful. The achievement pops, I plug up the antlion's hole, wonder why you're all looking at me like that, and then move on through the next levels that are mostly just fighting, venting, dying, and mining until we reach a block of apartments with resistance held up inside. In here we find the incredible news that Jesse has since grown legs, and he has a spare crowbar for us to have. It does look like he's chewed on it a little bit, but crowbar is better than no bar. With the hammerhead shark of crowbars in hand, we head off to get our next achievement for destroying the gunship in a fight on the hospital roof. A few rockets take it down, as well as a quick smack for good measure, and we get our achievement, Attica. For the next achievement, Citizen Escort, we meet back up with Jesse and his new legs to help, you guessed it, escort citizens across to the train to escape the city. And to get the achievement, we need to make sure that none get clipped in the process. This part was the one time that I felt any kind of challenge from the one free bullet achievement, as my only weapons in this section were basically the rocket launcher and grenades, which may sound good at first, but as I found, the ammo in these big crates definitely does run out. So after a bit of a struggle, we get our last group of citizens across for our achievement. Off the back of this, we fight a Strider, which is no trouble as the rocket launcher is practically the only weapon that damages this thing anyway. And once he's down for good, we can take the last train out of here, getting the achievements Escape from City 17 and the one free bullet. The city explodes behind us, perfectly transitioning us into our final hunt for the last 23 achievements, episode 2. Wait, I think Grigori was still in there, you know? This is the hardest, or at least the most tedious part of the achievement hunt in my opinion, as in typical Half-Life fashion, not only do I have to do a separate playthrough afterwards, carrying a prop through the game from start to finish, this time also trying to keep him in a moving car with no doors for half the game. Oh yeah, I'm carrying Maxwell in my playthrough. Sorry, Gnome. Speaking of gnomes, when you first open episode 2, you get this achievement automatically, which is something about Gabe firing a gnome into space. I don't know, anything other than releasing Half-Life 3, I guess. But there's also a very large bunch of missable, for the lack of a better word, collectibles in this episode. In the base game, it was 45 secret caches. Meanwhile, episode 2's equivalent has us squashing every single grub in the Antlion cave systems. All 333 to be exact. Also, that number in itself just feels like a piss take. There's also 7 caches in this too, and I missed the very first one, so I had to go get it in my second playthrough, all while carrying the goddamn cat. We start episode 2 just after the crash following the explosion, taking a bath in the remains of the train car. After getting our trusty gravity gun back, the first achievement we get is Grave Robber, for flawlessly stealing a Zombine's grenade. After this, Walt tells us that the Combine are trying to open another gateway, and we need to launch a rocket to stop it. There's a bunch of pit stops that we'll make along the way as we head to the launch site, and many achievements that will make me question my life choices. Following this, we both get jumped by a hunter that swiftly spears Alex and buries me under rubble. The magical Vortigaunt of plot convenience comes to our rescue, and after calling for his mates,
Let me summon my kin.
he comes with us to take her to safety. Since Gordon lost his crowbar for the second time, he's no longer trusted with one, and he gets a blowhigh. We split up from the Vort and head off to meet back up with him later. This is where we reach the Antlion tunnels, which starts the hunt to squash all 333 grubs throughout the tunnels. The tunnels are very repetitive, so I'll speed through. While we crawl through the tunnels squashing grubs, we get our next achievement, where we just need to kill our first acid Antlion worker for the achievement Acid Reflex. I also unlock this achievement every time I eat spicy food. A little while later, with more grubs flattened, including this real sneaky bastard inside this locker, we fight some Antlions, squash even more grubs. So many grubs. Until we meet back up with Vortimer and a couple bros. While the Vort works his magic alien stuff, me and the boys survive a few waves of Antlions, with the help from some turrets and mines in this little tower defense bit. We also get an achievement here called Deadly Harvest, for killing an enemy using a hopper mine. After fighting through swarms of Antlions and being thankful that I can use bullets again, we get our last achievement for surviving the Antlions, Into the Breach. From here, the next task is to get some tasty sounding larval extract from the tunnels, so we follow the Vort through, getting attacked by Antlions and squashing more grubs. We also need to deal with zombies in the mines, and of course, more grubs. Speaking of zombies, I'm also working on getting the achievement Bonebreaker for killing 30 enemies with thrown objects, so these guys are great for making progress towards that one. There's a huge battle in this rail yard area where we have a bit of the classic hold off the enemies until the elevator is ready gameplay, and once the fight is over and we're at the top, we continue through more repetitive grub squashing until we reach the point where I need to avoid this giant Antlion Guardian, so once we slip by him, crushing what feels like 600 more grubs along the way, and getting web caches for Pinata Party, we reach the larval extract. With our juicy new extract, we head back to get her all healed up. G-Man isn't too happy with this and drops by, basically to tell us to think about our life choices, and also turns Alex into a sleeper agent. At this point, we're also now one singular grub away from victory, so after getting the gang back together, we head up the lift, put an end to the very last grub, and officially get some grub. This is also where I realised I'd missed the very first cache for Pinata Party, so it's quite a bittersweet moment. Making it outside after a very long and claustrophobic time in those tunnels felt great. What wasn't so great was seeing the Combine army heading in the exact same direction we're going. We can't get too held up on that now, however, as I currently have 2 Antlion Guardians trying to kill me at the same time. There's an achievement for killing both Antlion Guardians, so after a lot of running and gunning, we keep it efficient and take them both down with a single grenade, as a thanks to Pandalax for the guide once again. We're back into another section absolutely teeming with headcrabs and zombies, which lets us divide up a few of them, getting our 30th kill with thrown objects to get the Bonebreaker achievement. With this out the way, we make our way up onto the bridge, where a huge storm from the gateway rocks the shit out of us and the bridge. Once moving the cars off of it to effectively turn it into a giant seesaw, we hop in the car for the first time and make our way to the end. The car is fun, however for the final achievement, this car is going to be my worst nightmare, but we might as well enjoy it for now, so we say goodbye to our alien friend and speed off to get the next achievements. While driving to the next area, I'll also quickly mention that I need to run over 20 enemies with this car for the hit and run achievement, so I'll be creating organic tarmac wherever possible. Here, after doing a quick puzzle with some cables, we get ambushed by more hunters. For the first achievement, we need to pick up an object for its projectiles to stick into, and then launch it back at him. We get payback for this, followed by meet the hunters, once we elegantly take them all down. In the next location, we accidentally wake up this giant sleepy guy, who after throwing a huge hissy fit, calls in some backup from the Combine. For the very 2000s named achievement Hot Potatoed, I need to kill a Combine soldier with his own grenade, so after getting my opportunity, I throw it back towards him, and as they pop, so does my achievement. Upon leaving this area, we get chased by a gunship, which after leading it to this compound, we get to take it down. We get another achievement called Putting on a Clinic for throwing its bombs back at it without missing, which I definitely did on the first try. Once it's down for good, we can move on to the scrapyard while we get our car fixed. Here we need to slowly push forward through the Combine soldiers and headcrab zombies, all while avoiding being shot by this huge cannon. Once at the garage where the cannon's set up, we break in and chuck a grenade inside its control box to disable it. We're now much safer and one achievement richer with Gunishment. With our car all fixed up, we can now mow down a few more zombies to get the hit and run achievement, and the car now has been equipped with a radar scanner for, you guessed it, more caches. Luckily, there's only 5 for this achievement, and they're all very simple to find with this. Our first cache is very soon after leaving, just inside this van here. The second is in this warehouse, where we need to push this metal panel down, throw a grenade underneath, and use it to launch ourselves up to get the cache. This is clearly so satisfying that it actually gets its own achievement, Gordon Propelled Rocket. The third cache is just over the road, hidden under some floorboards like Dr. Kleiner's drug stash. We drive a bit further up the road until we reach a cave containing our 4th cache, which we get to just by blasting these boulders out of the way. We won't get to the 5th cache for a while, so for now, we head up to the top of the mountain until we reach White Forest Inn. I drive headfirst into a wall, and we get ambushed by approximately 700 Combine forces in this trap they have set for us. So to quickly get through this, we'll just, and with that all sorted, we get an achievement for surviving the ambush and set off to get the last cache. It's just down at the bottom here, on a platform way up in the trees. So after launching a few rocks at it, the contents fall down from above and we get Cache Checker. Finally, we are free of all of the collectibles. Apart from you dick. From here, it's just a lot of driving until we reach this closed gate, where Dog drops by just to aura farm again, as he takes down the Strider in front of us, lifts the gate up, and moves the alien corpse out of the way so that we can drive through. I felt like I had to keep him humble here, so I beat him in the race up to the top, and I get the achievement Pedal to the Metal. After being a sore winner, we head inside to meet up with the others. We have a quick catch up with Eli, then head down this elevator where Walt tells us that we need to secure the launch doors on the 2nd rocket silo. Oh yeah, and Magnuson's also here. Yippee. So we head on through, shooting more people with various different things until the last of the Combine are dead. For this, we also get the very imaginatively named achievement, Secondary Silo Secured. After this, we can all head inside for a breather, and after listening to Judith yap about something, Alex goes full sleeper agent, and this causes Eli to be cursed with British, and is now wanting a cup of tea. Magnuson tells me to come with him, as there are Striders outside that are disrupting the launch. I quickly stick around just to judge him for his weak-ass gaming PC, and then I follow along. He presents to me his new bomb, the Magnuson device. We get some practice outside, launching endless amounts of these seemingly brand new and limited prototypes at a taxidermy Strider until we're ready to do it for real. This is where the pain starts. As for the Neighborhood Watch achievement, I need to take down every Strider without letting them destroy a single building. This involved a lot of loading saves for me, as I found it difficult to get to the Striders in time with a Magnuson device. And as well as this, you have to take care of the Hunters first, as they would instantly destroy the bomb mid-air if you hadn't. This piled on top of my bad accuracy here made for a tough time. Oh yeah, and of course the worst of it all, fast Striders. Launching these logs at the Hunters was a good, and also basically only solution to killing them quickly, as time is not on your side during this achievement, and you have a lot of ground to cover. After a handful of stressful Strider encounters, and many more from Hunters, we save all the buildings, and protect the silo to get the story achievement Defense of the Armament, and of course, Neighborhood Watch. After heading back inside, we're met with cheers and praise. Magnuson is happy that his devices did all the work, and the gang gets together one last time to send off the rocket and close the gateway. Neat. Now we just have to head outside, watch poor Eli get eaten by a flying grub, and prepare ourselves for the final achievement, Little Rocket Man. As I said earlier, we need to take the gnome, or in my case Maxwell, to nearly the end of the game, where we'll tuck him into the rocket and send him back to his home planet. We find him near the beginning in this room, hiding just under this platform here. I will keep you safe, my boy. I will not let any harm come to you. We pick up the lad and head to our first stop, where we both sit idly by once again. And after the Vortigaunt does his thing, we head back to the Antline tunnels. While we head here, I'll just say that maybe it's because I have a lot of practice from Black Mesa by this point, but this achievement wasn't too bad at all. The driving sections were definitely challenging, but overall there's nothing too difficult that we struggle with during this cat-sitting playthrough. Once reaching the Antline tunnels, I thought I'd have to get all 7 of the web caches once again. However, I only needed the first one that I missed, so only one more achievement to go. Also, the addition of the gravity gun made this even easier because you can grab Maxwell from far away, and also, when needed, just a bit further up where we help the Vorts and these dudes hold off waves of antlions, we can actually set Maxwell down for a nap in this corner, as we know we'll be heading back here once we have the essential oils or whatever that dude needs. If you're still watching at this point, then I appreciate you, and know that you don't want to see the same game twice over. So with a little editing, let's just... There we are. Also, leave a comment saying how much better you are than everyone else for making it this far. We head up the elevator to fight with the 2 Antline Guardians, so we pop Maxwell down in a safe spot and take them both down. After this, we find ourselves picking up the car again, and this is
where the fun begins.
Now there's a reason that the Source engine has a sandbox game that's been going strong for almost 20 years, and it's because Source physics are amazing. So from here, it's just a lot of careful driving around to make sure that he doesn't slide out while we're moving, or bounce 80 feet in the air. When this fails, getting him used to the high altitudes of his upcoming space flight by launching him ahead repeatedly also works. And after 3 hours of cat sitting, we make it to the silo where we drop Maxwell inside, say our farewells, and send him on his mission to get the 69th and final achievement, Little Rocket Man. Thank you for watching, and for the support on the previous Black Mesa video. If you enjoyed this, then I promise you'll have a good time watching that one as well. Like the video if you liked it, and yeah, bye.